Hello again. So I've decided to do another video basically just talking about issues, not astrology, but real issues. And I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, okay? I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. And basically, I want to start off with talking about I just have to plug in my laptop here. It's going to die, and then I'm not going to be on the screen anymore. I don't want that. So, basically, I want to talk about housing, and I want to talk about real issues, because that's why I started making these videos, to talk about these issues. Not only about astrology, because yes, astrology is important, and we should incorporate it in our day-to-day lives, but I want to talk about how unnatural our world has become. And the reason why our world has become unnatural is because of money, because of profit. Now, the politicians want to know why people are getting mad and people are getting angry. And I can basically explain to you why people are getting angry and why they're getting mad. People are getting mad because everything is about money. The collapse of Europe, the collapse of the United States, the industrial age and revolution is now over. There's nothing else to produce. Everything has been produced. Everything's been done. Technology is a big thing that we've discovered. And in the next 10 years, you know, technology is not going to be what we thought it was going to be. It's going to be something else. We're going to realize that everything that technology does for us, we could do for ourselves. So moving on, I want to say people are fed up of the lies that politicians talk about. People are fed up of hearing that you're going to do this and you're going to do that, and then you don't do it. And then you take the taxpayers' money and you embezzle that money into parties, into your own satisfaction. That's why half of you guys are fat and half of you guys don't take care of yourselves, because you embezzle the money in yourselves and you don't put it into the people. The people are the ones that are getting up every day and working hard for minimum wage. And that money that is supposed to go towards community, social programs, education, housing has gone towards something else. And I think it's very unfair. And I'm very surprised that people have not rose against that. They're starting to now, because you've basically put people in a corner. That's what you've done. That's what the government's done. The government has basically put people in a corner and said, you know what, do this or you're not going to be able to survive. You're not going to be able to live a normal life. Okay? Now, people might argue and say, not people, but the government may argue and say, well, we've provided, disability for people, we've provided low income housing, we've provided welfare. But what the government is not understanding is that little $500 is not going to feed, a family. Prices in food have gone up. Housing, we have a bed bug epidemic in Toronto right now, where people, they can't sleep in their own beds because they have these little bugs biting them. We have cockroaches, we have rats, we have a huge epidemic. So, I can't sleep. I'm stressed out just like everyone else is. I'm sure there's a lot of people that cannot sleep because they're stressed out because they have to be at work tomorrow. I also wanted to say about housing. Last year, Toronto Community Corporation, Housing Corporation, embezzled the money that was supposed to go into the housing co-ops in the ghetto. for bed bugs, okay, for renovation, okay, for basically making life better for us, for the low income people that cannot afford it. And I think it's wrong. I think people need to start speaking up. And people need to start boycotting and stop dealing with the government. And they need to just stop dealing with these people. Now, I'm going to say these things because I can, and I will say them. And I really want to hear from people. I want to hear what your opinion is about this, because it's an issue that we're dealing with. There's things that it's a real deal. You know what I mean? There's nothing more that I could emphasize more and say that the government is doing everything wrong. And the government is frustrated. I can see that the government is frustrated. And what the government doesn't see that is that it's not always about getting up and working and going to school. Not everybody is going to do that. Not everybody feels like they need to be like everybody else. Be your own self. If you don't want to work, you shouldn't have to work. You shouldn't have to collect money. If you want to eat fruit and sit in a park and paint all day, you should be allowed to do that. You shouldn't be kicked out of a park because the government says get up and go to work, or get up and go back into a shelter. The shelters are bed bugged. Do you understand that? It's a bed bug. Nobody wants to live in a bed with bed bugs. Now, I understand you probably go back to your $2,000 condo and you don't really give a shit. But not everyone, there's 7 billion people in this world, and not everyone's going to be rich. Not everybody's going to have money. Some people are going to have to be poor. Some people are going to have to be middle class people. So this is our problem today in our society and in our economy. This is the problem. The problem is that the government needs to understand these things, and they need to start looking at other people's perspectives. And if you're going to cut social programming and embezzle money, people are not going to listen to you, because you're doing the things that you said that you were supposed to do, and you're not doing them. Like, what do you expect people to do? People are not going to follow you if you don't say your words. I mean, if I said one thing on here, like I'm drinking out of a water bottle, this is very bad, but I don't have any other choice, because the piping systems in low-income buildings it's ridiculous. I mean, I drink from the tap and I get sick. I really do. So I'm just being real, people. I'm just keeping it real, and I want you to understand that, because the reason why I started doing these videos, it's not because I want people to know who I am. I mean, yes, I want people to know who I am, but I want people to understand that we have a real big problem here in the world today. And it's like everybody just gets up and they don't care. Somebody has to say something. Somebody has to speak up and say, listen, okay, we have an issue here. Let's figure out how we can deal with it. Let's work together. Let's not go against the things that we believe in as being true human people, being humane. Because that's what being human's about. Being human is about understanding people, understanding people's perspectives, and really catering to the people. The people, not the government, because the government has tons of money. The government has taxes that they are pretty much taking from the people, taxpayer dollars. That money, instead of having that money go into things like parties for governments, chocolates as big as my coffee table. I mean, really, what are you gonna do with a chocolate that is the size of a coffee table? A huge chocolate. I mean, do you really need that much chocolate? There's people that are starving, and there's people that don't even have any food, and you're gonna take chocolate and you're gonna eat chocolate to your face and get fat? And people are right. I mean, why would we elect a government who can't even show us that he can take care of his body? I mean, if somebody is overweight, okay, they really need to figure out a way to lose that weight. And I mean, I understand some people basically have problems losing weight. I have a family member that has problems with losing weight. That's understandable. But people need to understand that the money that they're paying, their tax dollars, are not going towards housing or education or health care. Yes, our health care is free in Canada, but there's people that go to the doctor and sit down for 3 hours, and sometimes we go there and they stop accepting patients after a certain time. So there's a problem. There's obviously a problem. I'm not going to talk about people's weight because there's some people that uncontrollably cannot control their weight, and that's fine. I understand that. So I'm not going to talk about that. That's off the subject line. But basically what I'm saying is that if somebody has the ability to lose weight and they don't have health problems and they're a politician, they should basically be able to depict the fact that they can take care of themselves and they can also take care of a society. Because at the end of the day, let's face it, if you can't take care of yourself, then chances are you probably can't take care of a society.